This episode is brought to you by Wise. Wise is the app for international people using money around the globe. With Wise, you can send, spend, and receive up to 40 currencies with only a few simple taps and save up to 55% compared to major banks. Plus, Wise won't add hidden fees to your transfer. Whether you're buying souvenirs with pesos in Puerto Vallarta or sending euros to tip your Colosseum tour guide, you know you're getting a fair exchange rate with no extra markups. Be smart. Join the 15 million customers who choose Wise. Download the Wise app today or visit wise.com. Learn more by visiting wise.com/US/compare. T's and C's apply. Today on CityCast Denver, Colorado turns 150 years old next year, and Denver, we're even older than that. So how are we doing these days? What aspects of the Mile High City have gotten better with age, and what parts would we rather forget? From questionable music venue names to trendy modes of transportation, me and two fellow locals look at Denver and ask the question, did that age well? Today is Monday, September 29th. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Hey, before we get started, hey, Paul.
Hey.
It's our neighbors campaign. It's our fall campaign, our fall membership campaign. We've been talking a lot about how cool it is. If you sign up, you get a cool tote bag. You get these...
Which you do.
You get these amazing benefits. But you and I were just talking, and you think that's not just the only thing that drives our listeners and readers to support us. What do you think matters to our folks?
Well, I've heard it from them. I know our neighbors. I know so many of them. I feel like I've got a Rolodex of faces running through my mind of people who have introduced themselves to me or said hello, which I always love.
Me too.
Always love. And I know what they say is, I love feeling connected to the city.
Yeah.
You all help me feel like I'm part of the conversation that matters.
Thank you for talking about that issue in my neighborhood.
Yes.
Or the bike lane in my neighborhood, the ballot issue that I didn't understand, the politician that nobody has seemed to talk to yet except you guys.
Or following up with them on a policy issue that no one's really talked to them about or made them explain themselves and like, oh, wait a second, they might not actually know what they're talking about.
And that's why we want to ask those questions.
That only happens here.
That's
true.
true.
Politicians, they just don't talk to other people and they talk to us.
You know, we talk about this behind the scenes a little bit too, but like, the cool aspects of the medium that we have is we get to ask those questions. Things that don't necessarily come through in straightforward reporting, which we respect and appreciate so much from our colleagues who help inform us. But we have this cool medium where we can get kind of face-to-face and level with folks in power in the city.
And that's another thing that I think is so special about what we do is because it does level the playing field. I said this before last week, but I feel like, and I hope our listeners feel the same way, that everyone that comes on the show is their neighbor. This is a big city, but it's a small town. And I feel like, just last week, like clerk and recorder Paul Lopez, he's going to come on, he's going to talk like a person. That's what we do. We make people feel like this is a space where we can have a real conversation. Anyone from the clerk and recorder to my friend Michelle Jackson, who loves coffee shops, Anthony Bruno, the food writer who's eating his way up and down Havana Street.
I mean,
they're all your neighbors.
Small business owners, our friends in the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District, people that are really passionate about the city that know if they come on CityCast Denver, they're connecting directly with our listeners. And honestly, that is a big motivator. I know for a lot of our guests is like, they want to reach you all. And they come to us and say, let's talk about this thing. And we say, all right.
They know you care. They know that the CityCast listening audience is very invested and engaged, and they care a lot. And this is your way to show it and make sure that what we do, we can keep doing it, basically. Because without your support, it's not going to last forever. We really, really do rely on this membership program. I mean, yes, there's ads, but the membership program is really important for the business model. I mean, hate to lift the curtain back too much, but it's real. Guess what? The media business is tough. You all know it. We're not immune to it, and we need your support right now more than ever.
And that helps us keep this show going, but also keeps us going in these jobs as people who are part of your community. So if you want to support us today, you can go to membership.citycast.fm.
And the tote bag, of course.
Of course, you get the
tote bag
Neighbors Make Denver tote bag, which is a big selling point for me personally. But it's only $10 a month, $100 a year. I'm not going to break this down in coffee value or anything for you. I think you know what $10 means. It means a huge amount to us. So join us today, membership.citycast.fm. Politics and Green Chili correspondent Justine Sandoval. Hi.
Hi.
And joining us for the first time, the host of the Did That Age Well podcast, Molly Smith. Welcome to CityCast Denver.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're the reason that we are here because you host this podcast, Did That Age Well, where you discuss movies and if they aged well, which producer Paul Crowley and I have both been on your show. It's so much fun, and it inspired us to do sort of a Denver edition of this. So.
I couldn't be more excited. Also, thank you both so much for coming on my show. We had an absolute blast, and I think that we're in for some fun today too.
I think so too. So I haven't seen any of your picks. You don't know mine. Some of these are actually Paul and Olivia's ideas, but we're going to battle out people, places, things about Denver and whether or not they have aged well. So let's just get into it. Paul, Paul's off mic. What's our first slot homes? Okay. Did they age well? Do you guys know what slot homes are?
Yes. So by slot homes, we mean the townhouses that are really tall and skinny, correct?
Yes.
They kind of slot them in, you might say.
Yeah, yes. And I think that the big argument with them initially was that they sort of all face each other and they don't face the street. Justine, though, I want you to give some neighborhood cultural context to why these were divisive.
I mean,
10 years ago.
Like when they popped up on the scene, they just didn't really fit. It like the look didn't fit into it. I think that I'm like up in the air on this one, whether or not age well. I think people might think that, I have certain opinions, but they just didn't architecturally fit into like the historic neighborhoods. And they were just very large and looming over the neighborhood. I think that they sat as this like big reminder of the changes that were coming and like a symbol of that. Yes. So, yes, those are the slot homes. That's how the neighborhood took them. Like, what the heck is this? They were built from like, a lot of them were criticized because they took up the entire lot of the property. So they were built from like corner to corner, which also led into city council debates about how much you can build on your property. So, yes.
And I think they put a moratorium on the slot home design because of this, particularly in areas like I think Jefferson Park was one of the big ones, the North Side in general. I have to say this was my pick.
Ooh.
And I have to say, I think that they're fine. I don't think that they had as big of an effect as we thought they would. And I mean, I went back and forth on this because I was like, I do still feel that when I walk down the street, they're very pronounced. But I don't know. People are living in them. They're part of the neighborhood now. I'm going to say they aged fine.
I think we'll know in about 20 years if they all start falling apart.
That's
really, I think, where I don't think that enough time has passed for us to see if they have aged well, if we're talking about, structural integrity. Culturally, I mean, I think it's weird when you're like looking in your neighbor's window. That I don't love. I don't love a balcony that looks into
your backyard.
An alley. However, I think I would be lying if I said that I didn't like them because I live in not exactly a slot house, but the architectural style of the townhouse that I live in is very different than the neighborhood historically. So it definitely does feel like, it's clear that we're new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justine.
All right. I'm 50-50 on this one. I think they're still, like, a lot of them are ugly. Like, still, they look weird. And there was a lot of architectural defects with, like, because they're so boxy, there was, like, drainage issues on the roof.
And all of their, like,
damage.
meter boxes were right on the front. Like, some very ugly aesthetic choices.
So they're ugly. I don't think they're going to we're not going to look back and be like, wow, look at that beautiful building. But
I'm with you.
I am now looking on housing shortages and how we use it. And my house is a duplex, but it was one of many houses that was built in 1897. It was like an original slot home. It's a shotgun house, and there were a lot of that type of architecture to accommodate housing. So I think, the idea of it, using land, the property to create more housing, to, do that is good, but like it's still they're still ugly.
I like that argument though, and I
Yeah.
like the cultural context of like we've had different types of multifamily housing before.
Right.
So, okay, what's our next one? Blucifer, aka Mustang. He's out at the airport. I have feelings about this. Who's
This one was mine.
Okay, Molly. Where are you landing?
Okay, so Blucifer to me is a constant reminder of his destruction.
It is a sad story.
It's a really sad story. The sculptor Luis Jimenez, who was killed by a section of this sculpture as he was building it in 2006. But it also, I mean, there's just sort of this dark history behind it. Like there are these missed deadlines, and the city was suing Jimenez for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he countersued. There was this mediation decided that he would complete the sculpture, and then he died. Like that's, and okay, they've gotten a lot of questions about the eyes, of course, the glowing, beady red eyes.
Sure.
And his wife, Susan, had said that the eyes have been a point of focus. And she said that she remembered this time when Luis was home alone at night and he heard something in the living room. He's like, I'm going to go investigate this. And he sees these two eyes that were not an invader, but their horse, Blackjack, who was in their living room. And this was...
That would terrify me to death.
And so why did he have to make that our problem? That he, that his Mustang, who he, this was in part a sculpture to honor this Mustang.
Sure.
And that's cool and stuff. But
So how do you feel? Do you think, okay, so this, Blucifer was built in 2008-ish?
I think it was I think it was finally finished a couple years after Jimenez died, which was in 2006. But it was commissioned like way before that.
Okay.
It had to be 8 because I remember I went out to DC in 2009 for my summer semester, and he was in the Smithsonian. Jimenez was, and everyone was talking about the sculpture. That's when I first heard the whole story.
Right. It just, to me, it doesn't age well because I'm not thinking of any happy memories. I'm not wondering, I wonder what sweet, uplifting story is behind this beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I wonder what wonderful thoughts are behind those beady red eyes.
For clarification, he was commissioned in 92,
Okay.
installed in 2008. Okay, so you think he didn't age well? Justine, where are you at with Blucifer?
I think he did age well.
Oh.
Only because I know the beginning of the history, and I was like, this is dark. I could never like fully embrace this statue. But as the years have went on, and I felt like it's kind of found its way into the hearts of Denverites, and you kind of pray your little Blucifer prayer before you get on a plane. All hail Blucifer, please. I want to see you when I get back. And so it's kind of taken away from that for me and become like this.
It's something else.
Something good out of the tragedy of the whole thing. Like,
Okay. I don't know where I've never been. I don't like the sculpture. I've just said it before. I like Luis Jimenez's other works. I've seen some of his stuff that I liked a lot better, and I just don't love it. So I don't know if I can see if it aged well or not because I've just been a hater from the beginning. So, okay, next topic. The Oriental Theater.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, this is good because
Is this any of ours?
this is mine.
Okay.
this is yours.
All
Okay.
right.
Do you want
All right,
to
you wanna
speak on
cider?
it first?
So, I just want to first off say I love the venue, and I think it's a great space. And the thing about the Oriental Theater is it's really not the theater and the architecture, it's the name, right?
The name is what you're talking
The
about.
Oriental. and
The problematic name here.
yeah, and the name is not a politically correct term. It's fallen out of favor. It's something we do not use. It's something you cringe when you hear your grandmother say.
Yeah.
But yet we are still going to these shows there. And so, a lot of people say that it's just like a harmless relic of the past. And a lot of that had to do with the architecture of the 1920s. They were building like these theaters that had like this exotic feel. So you'll see that in like the Mayan Theater on Broadway.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you see a lot of of that architecture.
There's like
so-
the Egyptian
Yeah,
theater.
yeah.
I mean, there's, yes.
Yeah.
So it's one of this era, but the name really, I mean, I've heard a lot of younger folks call it the O.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that too. That's what I was going to bring up, is that I think that there's this growing contingent of younger people calling it the O. I think in part just because it's really uncomfortable to say the Oriental Theater.
Yes,
I had some.
We're all saying it. I'm like, oh, yikes.
I had some guests on my podcast who were talking about how the Oriental Theater, it's the same folks who are doing the Federal Theater, which I know that you recently reported on. And he was saying, like, and we love the Oriental folks, as in like the folks who work at the Oriental
Sure.
Theater, and
The crew, yeah.
and I cracked up laughing, just like that out of context. Being like,
because it is so specific to this, like this particular entity in our city.
yeah.
You know, but anywhere else, you probably see it on a show poster. You know, someone's coming through and they're like, oh, they played, wherever in Salt Lake City, and they're playing the Oriental Theater.
I like
in
how you said
what year
Salt
is
Lake
it
City,
in
'cause
Denver?
Denver, I'm like, this progressive city everyone thinks
Right.
of, and you're there, you're like, wait, what town is that in? You don't necessarily think Denver.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm with you. The name did not age well.
Yeah.
The venue, the people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
It's
people
wonderful.
are great.
The
We love
shows,
them
the
in-
artists, we love them. We love you guys.
Yeah.
The O, I like that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say the O.
Yeah.
Kind of hot.
Yeah, it's
Kind of sexy.
Yeah.
We're going to show the O tonight.
Yeah. Paul loved that. I want everyone to
Paul's
know.
off mic losing it. You see him at the O later.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, what's next? Okay. EV rebates, e-bike rebates. Did they age well? So this was a big thing in Colorado. Like, Colorado really went hard on the rebates where other states were not doing it. And I think with the ushering in of the second Trump administration, there's been a lot of shifting away from pulling the funding away from those rebates. Was this either of your picks?
No.
Okay, it was none of our picks. So we have no dogs in this fight. No. How do you guys think? Do you think that those aged well?
Well, I've got an e-bike that was a result of a tax rebate, so I'd say it's aging pretty well. When I'm zipping on the street, I think I age well.
All right.
I like that. My friend got an e-bike and he was loving it. He was getting to work and everything, but then he had to sell it to pay his rent.
Sad.
So to me, I'm like, that's kind of the thing. Like, we did this great rebate program, but people in the city still can't pay their
Afford to
rent
live here.
and also
Right.
transportation. And I'm like,
Oh.
so I want to say these programs are great, but in the long term, if you got to sell it to pay your rent, like, what
Yeah,
good is
that's indicative of a larger problem here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It was cool. I liked it.
I think they aged well. My mom's on to her second EV with the rebate program. She got
Good for
one right
her.
before the certain ones expired, I think, in October. Also, I bring this up often, but I think it's hilarious that my mother strong-armed her HOA into putting in a bunch of EV chargers at her condo complex.
I love it.
And people fought it, and now they're always all full.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
I think Colorado really it feels very on brand for us, and I'm
Yeah.
going to say that aged well. I
Yeah.
think so.
I think so.
This episode is brought to you by MultiPass. Founded by event hosts for event hosts, MultiPass makes it easy to sell tickets and memberships and find local events. MultiPass is proudly based in Denver and deeply rooted in the local event and creative scene. MultiPass is different. It has a unique community chat feature that unlocks post RSVP. This helps attendees connect and engage. So find your new BFF or just someone who wants to grab dinner before a show. And if you're an events producer, cash flow issues are a thing of the past with MultiPass's same-day payouts. Plus, it has revenue sharing tools already built in, which automatically splits ticket revenue between producers, performers, and promoters. I always say this, MultiPass would have saved me some real headaches back in the day with my DIY organizing. You guys have it easy. MultiPass, they're good. MultiPass is designed to help everyone in the event ecosystem win, not just the platform. Learn more at multipass.com. That's multipass.com. Hey, it's Bree, host of CityCast Denver, and I'm here with who?
Producer Olivia Jewel Love. Hey. we are here because it is our membership drive. So, we need your help. Y'all know we are a small team, and every day we put on a new pod for you guys, put on a new newsletter for you guys, and that's a lot of work. Like, low-key, we make it look easy, y'all know, but honestly, like, we need your support.
And in exchange, there are perks. I think this is the newest thing. This is pretty cool, is you get invites to member-only events, and our last one was a banger. So if you want that information, sign up to be a member today. You also get a curated weekly list of events, of the best things to do in the city. Peyton puts that together every single week. And we give you a little space to share what you love about Denver in our podcast. So you could become a CityCast Denver neighbor today for just $10 a month or $100 a year. You can go to membership.citycast.fm. Sign up, super easy. And if you sign up now through October 3rd, what do you get, Olivia?
Tote bags!
Are you trying to get your 4-year-old to put his pants on because you can't go to school without pants on, Montgomery? Maybe you're doing that and you're listening to CityCast Denver right now. I don't know, Paul. I do this with the podcasts I listen to.
Oh, 100%.
They're in my ear all the time. So much so that my husband's like, are you talking to me or are you listening to a podcast? And a lot of times I'm listening to a podcast, and I know that's you all too. Maybe you're doing laundry. Maybe we join you when you're at the gym. Maybe we're the thing, again, when you're driving to work or whatever, or riding your bike to work. Support us in doing this so that you can continue to have that experience, and we can be in your ears bringing all these cool stories about Denver to you every day.
The way to do it is to become a neighbor today. Join
That's
our
right.
membership program. That's the best way to say this matters to me and I want it to stick around. And the best time to join is now,
Right now.
because you get some extra perks. And there's old stuff that we gave away during old membership campaigns that's never going to be available again. All those mugs, those are gone.
I have one. It's pretty sweet.
It's a great mug.
It's a huge mug.
If you miss the mug, sorry, you don't get another chance. But you do have a chance at the
Get a
tote
tote bag.
You could get the nice tote bag. It's kind of a one-time only thing, so you really do have to join.
Right
This is our last week. We got a lofty goal for this membership campaign.
Help us
You
out.
really need to join now.
Right. Don't delay. Membership.citycast.fm. Next topic. Denver's plastic bag ban. Okay.
Ooh.
Is this anyone's?
No.
Okay. I was like, I went looking for a Target bag the other day and I could not find one in my house. I needed it for something super specific, and I am not going to go to bat for plastic. But I have struggled, I guess I would say, with
Sure.
the bag ban. How do you guys feel about the bag ban?
I mean, it was some growing pains, learning to make sure you had your bags in the car.
Justine's sensitive because she's already offended the recycling community recently.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
So I'm like, I
She's
like the
kind of
bags.
just walking on eggshells.
Well, I said, I know, I'm gonna watch myself. I had spent a lot of time on the East Coast in DC, and there, since like 2008 or whatever, they've had no
Oh,
bags.
really?
So everywhere I went, it was a thing, and it was just like luxurious here that we didn't have to.
yeah.
So I was just waiting for us to jump on board with the rest of the
I'm
country. I
with
knew
you.
it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have no authority to speak on this. And is that going to stop me from speaking? Of course not. I think I've heard that in other cities, like San Francisco, more people purchased like the small trash bags, like because there aren't plastic bags. So like more people were buying
And putting that plastic still
Or
into
lining.
the
yeah. So
system.
I think that I don't know if enough time has passed for us to know if other types of plastic consumption have gone up or stayed the same. I'm sure this is someone's job. In fact, a lot of people probably are like, that is my job, and there is research, and you are talking without researching. But I'm gonna say, like, I was on board with it when it started, and I find the paper bags, if I forget my grocery bags, to be just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I go to Target and their paper bags suck. But I will say I have a very healthy collection of reusable bags, but I'm also a bag lady that carries around a giant purse full of garbage.
Yeah.
So I have 5 reusable bags in there, and I always have one. And when we were in Paris over the summer, nary a plastic bag, nary a plastic anything. It's possible We can do it. I think it has aged well as much as I miss a Target plastic bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's aged well. I like it better than the straw ban plan. We won't even get into that. But
And you know what? I have to, now I'm doing a shameless plug for this show right now because, oh gosh, if you become a CityCast Denver neighbor today, this fall membership drive, you get a Neighbors Make Denver tote bag, everyone.
Oh my God.
So for promotional purposes, I love the bag ban.
Absolutely.
Because
yes,
if you go to membership.citycast.fm, you can get a bag from us right now.
get a bag.
I loved it. I will never look at a plastic bag ever again.
Don't
because
even
I'm
look
going to
at
be
it.
thinking, well, if only I had my Denver CityCast bag.
See? If only you had it.
only
But
I
now
had
you
it.
can get it right now.
And now you can get it too, listener.
Thank you, Molly.
You're so
Thanks
welcome.
Thanks for supporting me on that.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. The light rail. Did it age well? So again, we all grew up here. I feel like this had such a big promise. Like, we're getting light rail. This is like the mid 90s. Like, we are really a big town now. And I have to say, I don't know. It gets a lot of bad press.
Yeah. I used to live right near the Alameda station.
Okay.
And I loved the light rail. I rode the light rail all the time when I was living in Baker. I moved to the Highlands and, of course, didn't think about the light rail for 5 years. So
Because it wasn't in immediate reach. You just
Exactly.
stopped using it.
I just stopped using it because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I think because so much of Denver has seemed to expand like east and west in addition to north and south, and the light rail is really kind of a north-south.
Yeah. If you want to go to Park Meadows, I guess.
Yeah.
You
If
can
you
do
want to
that?
go to the Schwab Lone Tree campus.
Yeah, like
I imagine when I was riding the light rail, it was before the COVID pandemic. So like it really was a lot of commuters to work. I don't
they
know.
haven't come back. Pre-pandemic levels still have not come back, I believe.
Yeah, every time I've been on the light rail, it's been pretty sparse. So I don't know.
Justine, I mean, you're a North Side, East Sider. You have seen this, the promise of the Welton corridor. Like, you saw this roll out. What do you think now?
Yeah, I was at the grand opening of the light
No
rail
way.
on Welton Street. I was on the news in my class.
Oh my
And we were like,
gosh.
yeah, they had a whole festival on Welton Street for it. So I remember this thing, and it was like exciting. I was like, we're gonna have trains like New York City, and no, that thing went nowhere that I went except for Welton Street, and I wasn't going anywhere but Welton Street. So I'm
Right.
like, and then, so I always talk about this, and the big community outrage was that there was an economic racial element to it. They created this idea to make it this eco chic thing to do, to take the train from Denver to the Taper Center, but people just didn't get on board with that. People were in their
On
cars.
board? I love that.
They didn't get on board the light rail. So a lot when they created it, the airport also opened that same year when it opened. It should have went to the airport right away.
And we didn't get a train to the airport for 20 years
Yeah,
after
I-
the airport opened.
That still baffles me. I
It's
think about
right.
it so often about
Yes.
how they didn't build a train to the airport that year.
like
well, the racial
immediately.
injustice part that a lot of community members said in those days was they accused RTD of not wanting to take it through Aurora and through those areas at the time
Yep.
because the medical campus wasn't there. All of that area was still developing. So they didn't see the benefit in doing that. They wanted to take it to
Just
their
so
other
wild.
riders down south.
Yeah.
So, and really worked against us because people didn't ride it where they needed to go, which they actually needed to go to the airport because the airport's in Kansas. So
Right.
you needed to take a train there after you landed on your plane. And so that was like a short-sightedness of planners at the time. And I think if they look back, they would totally change that because then we had years of not being able to pay for any expansion of it.
Right.
Fast Track's disaster.
Oh, my God.
Oh boy.
So,
we voted for something that never appeared. Yes.
it's never been useful for me
Yeah.
until they built it to go to the airport. And now I can go outside my house and go to the airport. So,
Yeah.
So maybe the train to the plane aged well. I don't
Yeah.
think light rail aged well.
No.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is good. Mayor Hancock's tweet, former Mayor Hancock, pass the potatoes, not COVID. This was his tweet right before he boarded a plane to travel for Thanksgiving.
This one was mine.
I love that you picked this because this is a hill I will die on. Please go. I'm
Okay.
excited.
Oh my gosh. This got me out of bed this morning, knowing that I was going to talk about this today. This is one of my favorite things in Denver history. It is so funny to me that Mayor Hancock, who was, I'll say personally, you know what? Get me on the record saying I'm not a fan. But I was like, which one of Mayor Hancock's policies do I want to talk about? Didn't age well. Do I want to talk about the urban camping ban?
Oh my God, I almost did that too.
I want to talk about this tweet, pass the potatoes, not COVID, because this tweet came from Mayor Hancock at the airport, urging people not to travel over Thanksgiving.
Can you imagine just sitting there, send tweet?
Imagine having the confidence of a man who says, no one's going to see me at the airport. I'm only the mayor of the largest city in
My
Colorado.
voice only plays in the airport.
Yeah, literally, your voice is all over the airport. And you think that people will just not find out. They'll just think that you're peacefully
In
at
an empty
home.
airport, a COVID airport.
And this offended on so many levels. I remember because businesses who were also struggling during this time, I think it was like Bastions maybe had changed their marquee. There was a lot of backlash. And I'll say personally, my mother is an ER nurse. She's in her, at this time, she's in her late 60s working in full PPE every day. And I think I posted a picture of her in her full PPE being like, hey, Mayor Hancock, my mother is dealing with folks directly who have COVID. And you had the audacity to post this. So it was like healthcare workers, businesses.
Yeah.
Did not age well.
It was one tweet that aged well for about 30 minutes. Like, that's the thing, is that tweet, pass the potatoes, not COVID. First of all, I'm a copywriter. They could have hired me to write something that maybe was a little bit less chuggy. But pass the potatoes, not COVID. You read that, you think, okay, that's cute. Mayor Hancock, he's a middle-aged man. That's fine. But then when the news came out, and it was so charged, not just because of the hypocrisy, but because we were all, like you said, in this moment where everyone's making sacrifices.
Yes.
And for
the leader of
the city who is beating the drum of safety, who's trying to position himself as this leader in this crisis, to say, you know what? It's different for me.
Yeah. Everybody else but me.
Yeah.
Justine, where do you land on this? I mean,
It did not age well. It was pre Ted Cruz taking off to Cancun.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
our moment.
I forgot about that.
That was our Ted Cruz getting on the airplane moment of Denver. This
was our Kardashian birthday party, our private island or whatever.
Exactly.
It was just like the moment everyone was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be in the house for all the holidays, and everyone was having this moment, and we all needed something collectively to rage at. Well, at first we're gonna rage at the governor, and then he opened up the weed and the liquor stores, and we're like, okay,
that's true.
But now we're just inside high and drunk, and everyone was like, what the F?
Yeah. It did not help that we were all inside high and drunk, not with our family. So of course we're scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah, everyone is focused. We're not with each other.
Yeah.
We're online.
We're literally all online.
We have never been more online.
All right. Last one. Empower Field at Mile High Stadium. Was this yours, Paul? Is this anyone's?
No.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think how to debate this. Empower Field at Mile High Stadium. This feels like it leans into the Mile High fight before Mile High was torn down. Then they built Invesco, right? Was it Invesco first?
I believe.
And then it became Empower Field at Mile High. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, the name or the building? I think
maybe either.
Well, the name, of course, not it's just Mile High. But the other day I was looking at that aerial picture of the old stadium, the new stadium, and I'm like, oh my God, that old stadium was rinky dink.
Yeah.
I'm like, we did need a new stadium. Wow. I didn't think so in 1997, 98, but yeah.
So
I
if
looked
they're
at it, I'm
smart, they won't tear down Empower Field until they build the one in Burnham Yards and then take that same picture
then
to
I can be
remind
like,
us.
That's right. That's exactly what we need.
But I look at our new one and I was like, no, that's good. That works. It aged well. Let's leave it alone for now.
It seems, structurally, Seems fine to me.
Yeah. As a structural engineer in my free time, I think it's fine.
absolutely. Yeah. First, I comment on the structure and integrity of slot houses, and then on the structural integrity of Mile High Stadium. I mean, look, give me a
What aren't we
microphone and I'll
experts
be
in?
an expert. But I think that, of course, it's a mouthful. Empower. I always forget what it is too. It's Empower Field at Mile High Stadium or Empower Stadium at.
See,
Mile High
Okay.
Field.
They just need to. They
call
need
it
to
Mile
call
High.
it Mile High by Empowered. But like, no one's going to call it. Obviously, like when we're talking about it, we're just going to call it Mile High, which is what we already do.
yes. So just
But-
put it at the beginning if we're going to shorten it.
Just kind of like find another way. Empower. Find another way.
I remember when they changed it to Empower because I was getting my hair done by like an apprentice at the parlor, and sweetheart's probably 20 years old, and she's like, just call it Invesco. That's what everybody knows it as. And I was like, oh,
that's
this
so
baby,
sweet.
this little baby. I was
Little
like,
baby.
I think we all call it Mile High, but I'm
It's
gonna
better than
say-
being like crypto.com at
I
Mile
know.
High
Oh, my
Stadium
God.
or whatever.
Yeah, we could have a really terrible. I mean, I think about that with Fiddler's Green when it became Comfort Dental Amphitheater, and I was like, this is the worst.
my God,
Everyone's
yes.
just gonna. So you know what? I'm gonna say it didn't age well, and I'm Mile High till I die. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mile
Okay.
High for life.
Well, we'd love to know what you think. What do you think about our picks? How they aged? Did they not? Are we wrong? Do you have some things that you think that we should be discussing that have or have not aged well? Give us a call on the Did That Age Well Denver edition hotline 720-500-5418. Molly, Justine, thanks for joining me. This was so fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Bree, what do you think? One last one for you.
Okay, let's do it.
Will CityCast Denver age well?
I mean, I pray to God we do. Are you kidding me, Paul? We've done we've done hundreds of episodes of this, and how often do we think back and go, oh man, remember when we talked to that guy 3 years ago? Let's follow up on that story. Let's find out what that business is doing. We are a public record of what's happening in the city right now. So if you want to enjoy that for even longer, you can do that right now.
Yeah, the best way to make sure that we age well is by stepping up and supporting
Sustaining.
us right now. And the best time to do it is this membership campaign. Right now, you get the tote bag. You get a chance to win the $250 gift card to Bonanno Concepts.
Ad-free news feed, weekly events roundup, invites to members-only events. Oh my God, Paul, we haven't talked about this, but we
No, we
set a
haven't.
date and we set our location. And all we can tell you is if you're a member, you will get invited to it, and it is very politically oriented and going to be super fun.
But honestly, the best thing is the sense of satisfaction. If you do join, you get to walk around all day knowing that you supported local journalism.
And we shout you out on the show. So if you want to hear your name shouted out on the show, go to membership.citycast.fm, sign up today. And when you sign up, you get to let us know why you listen, and we'll share that on the show too.
One last time, that's membership.citycast.fm.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed this show, why not take a minute to tell the estate of Luis Jimenez about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. And hey, thanks to our new neighbors, Eric R., Daisy F., Cheryl S., Shannon T., Elizabeth B., Mark H., and LN, hey girl, who just joined our membership program. You can support this show right now and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Denver neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.